Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Aluminum Tarot. Thank you so much for your time, energy, and patience as I've been able to get my channel back off the ground due to life circumstances. This has required from me a move and also a search for new employment, which in turn has pretty much extorted all of my time, and I am now working to get things back off the ground. That said, what I'd like to do is go ahead and cover the reading for Capricorn. This is Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. If you would like a reading with me, please look at the information in the description box below, and I'll be able to sort that out for you. Also, please be aware of any scammers that are on YouTube or any other platform that are posing as certain creators, and then, of course, taking their money from the people that deserve it instead. That said, we're going to go ahead and kick things off. I'm going to explain in a post a bit later on as to, the full extent of what's going on. But I once again appreciate your time, energy for joining this channel again. We're going to read for April for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant, and then we will take it from there. All right, let's get started. So we have for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. We have for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. What about for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant? What about for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant? Two more. Last one. Okay, short Celtic cross. We're going to go ahead and look at this now. Current energy. Let's go inside. Challenge. Okay, let's take place in the recent past. What's happening in the near future? What's at the core of all of this? Is that the position of what's already known? This Page of Swords is coming out for everyone. And the potential outcome for April. Clarify. All right, bottom of the deck. We have a similar reading to Taurus, which is essentially looking at what makes you happy. And this is what you don't see coming. But that said, we're at the Queen of Cups right now, and we have the challenge as the Ace of Cups. So what the Queen of Cups normally does, she sits in her energy and she looks at her cup and asks herself, what exactly can I do to protect or to offer this cup to anyone? This is a person who has mastered their emotions, or at least their emotional state. But what they are doing at this particular moment is reflecting on what that means to them. This is a very sensitive person. This is normally a person who cares for other people and who is willing to go the extra mile, but sometimes can be taken advantage of when not careful with how much. So it's a constant balancing act with the kind of energy that they give to people. And that is actually reflected in the Ace of Cups as the challenge. So what you see as a person or a Capricorn, which is sitting in their emotions these days because they're trying to understand what it is that makes them truly happy. And for the Ace of Cups, this is something that normally is a new start that allows people to feel that overwhelming sense of joy, to refill and replenish their energy, their vibrational energy as well. And when that becomes the challenge, it seems like there's almost like I get the image of a person sitting in a mirror or looking at the mirror and trying to understand what it is or who they are, or examply, what it is that truly gives them a sense of fulfillment at this particular point. Because the Ace of Cups normally as a challenge means that it's difficult to fill that cup. And so now you're going through a period of reflecting to try to understand what that cup means to you and what you should fill it with. Will it be filled with poison? Will it be filled with, the water, the elixir of life? Will it be filled with wine? And that's really up to you. So looking into this even further, in the recent past, you've been in King of Swords mode. And the reason why, King of Swords. King of Swords. Yeah. So, with the King of Swords, what we have here is a person who is getting tactful. They're formulating a plan to kind of rebalance some of the issues that have taken place in their life. We have the Justice reverse and the Strength reverse. These are two major arcana cards, clarifying the King of Swords. And for the King of Swords, this is a person who is very stoic, methodical, and very deliberate in everything that they do. And they're normally a mastermind of their intellect. So whatever it is that has, spurred this about, this is now, I think, spurred about from a clear period of instability and also exhaustion. So whatever took place within the recent past, you had a moment where you were giving a lot, you're actually depleting your resources, and it seemed like things were a bit unfair based on the treatment that you received in the past. And what you're trying to do, I feel like you're trying to defend yourself from that. So you're creating a structure within your life indicated by the King of Swords to kind of act as a bulwark against that, or a first line of defense. And in doing so, this gives you kind of, that Capricorn stability that is so needed. Because what a Capricorn typically likes to do is they will meet a specific challenge with a plan. And that plan is then used to overcome the obstacle. Just like a mountain goat climbing up the hill or climbing up the mountain in seemingly unsurmountable, tasks that they have to complete. If you've ever watched a mountain goat climb up or climb down a mountain, it's quite an impressive thing to see. Now, moving into the future, you have the King of Wands. I'm going to see exactly what that relates to. Please clarify the King of Wands. Nine of Pentacles. So, if I was reading this, I would see this as more of a this is a person who wants to be independent in every sense of the word. So you have the King of Wands here, which is a very fiery, go-get-'em type person who also is more of an entrepreneur. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is a person who is also independent. So you have male and female counterparts for a similar energy. One is at the fire level, one is at the earth. So if you have fire or earth in your chart, this would be reflected in that as well. I also see heavy air energy as well. But in saying that, what we're looking at is a person who in the past felt like their life was out of control, and now it's taking control back by becoming a more independent, thoughtful, and meticulous person, following their passions, following their dreams, and actually giving that air of independence to the rest of the world to show them that, hey, I'm reclaiming this control and I'm taking it back. Because what I want to do is no longer allow people to upset my, push over my apple cart, or to deplete my resources like I have in the past. Because what's at the core of all of this is the Queen of Pentacles. And what the Queen of Pentacles does is she nurtures not only her sense of self-worth, but she also nurtures her resources. And so in doing that, this could be, resources that are developed around the home life, or particularly resources that are developed from within. And nurturing this, we'll see a little bit more about what that's related to. Yeah. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, and then we have the Four of Pentacles. So this is about saving and conserving your financial resources. And it's not to say that this is a miserly card. I don't like to attribute the Four of Pentacles to a miser. This is a person who is smart with their resources and does know that they need to save, because in the past they may have come across a situation where they didn't have enough and they did have to rely on other people as a, to kind of overcome that particular financial setback. And for the Capricorns, who are very, very independent, they really want to try to be in control of their life and their destiny, and to have to do that can bring about some very painful lessons for them. That said, what we can look at is the Page of Swords, which is that clarity and that realization, studying what took place in the past and making sure that they don't make the same mistakes again. Clarify the Page of Swords. Two of Cups. Interesting. Sometimes the Two of Cups can be, sometimes the Two of Cups can be a relationship, or it can be a union between the head and the heart, the mind and the body. For some reason, however, because we start with the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Cups, I feel that this was an emotional situation that took place. That took place in the past. And you're realizing a painful realization about this relationship that happened or occurred in recent years. And now that's basically the driving force for what you know about in the current and present, because you're moving away from this lack of balance that took place in the past, using these major arcana cards, moving into a period of fierce independence in the near future. And from what's already known, it seems that this is brought about by that realization about what it means to love someone or to feel emotionally fulfilled. And it's very interesting. Now, say for instance you're a Capricorn and you have gone through a divorce. That would put a considerable dent in your finances and your, what you own, and essentially what path you can take in your life. So it's getting grounded and learning how to re-nurture yourself all over again, not just in the material, which is the finances and resources, but also in your sense of self-worth. It's holding on to that sense of self-worth in many ways, and allowing yourself to say, no one's going to be able to take this away from me again. Instead, I'm going to be the master of my own destiny, like the goat, in so many ways and respects. One of the things that we know about the Capricorn or the goat is that they leave their legacy. They represent the 10th house, which then indicates a legacy to be left behind, because this is the external persona based on the actions and the deeds that this person has done in the past. So looking back at your life, you could have said, I did these things and it still led to the collapse and the destabilization of the footing that I was trying to make as I was ascending that mountain. And it is very hard for a goat to slip and fall off the mountain. But when it does happen, it doesn't happen again. That usually leaves the goat bloodied, and it leaves them with a lot of wounds that they have to heal and nurse themselves from. But once they do that healing, they can then step back into that energy of reascending to the top of the apex. So that is essentially what I see you doing for the month of April. Reflecting on that and then understanding that I've got to still push forward, and I have to make my life, the way it needs to be, so that way I can experience the joy and refill that cup, because right now I'm still struggling on exactly how to do that, but I am finding my footing. So in the particular outcome for April, what I see is the Seven of Pentacles reverse and the Knight of Wands. from what I see from this, it feels like a person who's just, it's kind of like a fuck it energy. I can't really say it any other way. It's a person who's just going for what they enjoy doing. That's that King of Wands energy here, expressed in motion. So the King of Wands would be more like the authoritative one, but the Knight of Wands is actually doing it and moving forward. So you have a Pentacles card here, and then a Wands card, Pentacles card, Wands card. So it's indicating that fire and earth energy, moving between the pragmatic and the passionate. And I think for you, that's what you're going to do. It's like, okay, I've already put together a lot of stuff. I've already invested a lot in, myself at the material level. Now it's time to go have some fun. So it's getting yourself out there, especially as we approach the summer months, getting out there, meeting people, balancing that work and playtime, and just making your life as pleasant as it can be. And, all the while still attending to your schedule or, the things that you would have to do as a serious Capricorn person who is, again, focused on the things and the goals that they want to achieve. You can see the Capricorn as Sagittarius, but actually hitting his target. So in the ninth house, it's learning about those higher things, those truths that matter the most to you. The 10th house is actually achieving those, doing that in the material and in the spirit, in the flesh, in the material, in the finances, things of that nature, and leaving that legacy that's a bit more permanent. Moving away from things just being an idea, but actually becoming a real tangible thing that you yourself have crafted and made on your own. And here's something that I think about, as the other clarifier to the outcome. You're realizing that never again will I allow something to put me in my head again about the way I live my life. It's not just a card of being free-spirited, but it's like I'm not taking risk on things that put me in my head. It's about being smarter. So like with the Taurus and the Virgo readings that I just done, a lot of those cards that came out for them was about realizing where they went wrong. I think the Capricorns already realized that, and they're already on their new path towards happiness. And so for them, they're not taking the risk on things that confuse them, on things that put them in their head, things that cause trouble or disturbances to the life that they want to build. And that's a very admirable quality and trait that I think would allow them to create that lasting peace within themselves and to make it up that mountain. Even looking further, we have the King of Pentacles. That is your card, Capricorn. And some would say it's actually Taurus as well, but I would say Capricorn because it's a master of that, it being in the 10th house and the legacy. So overall, what I see for April, a person reflecting on what's taken place in the past and what it was that destabilized them, whether or not that was a love relationship, a job situation, something they felt really passionate about. They're now moving forward to create a new life that is not one that is dictated by the whims of other people. It's no longer the 2, it's the 1. It's no longer the 8. It's the Knight of Wands, it's the King of Wands, it's the 9 of Pentacles. These are cards that indicate independence and focus on the self. And yeah, that's really it. That's all I can really think of for this. So thanks so much for joining. If you like a personal reading, please do look at the description box below for that information. I'm just going to keep it simple with an email this time. Thanks so much again. I will keep these posts up to date and we'll move on to the next signs very, very soon. Thank you. Love and light.